30-minute reviews, beware of spoilers, and exploring hyperspace lanes are all available ad-free. But if you want to support the show, you can go to bewareofspoilers.com and click the support button that's available on the Spotify website. Thank you. Good evening, and welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I am Adam, as I jerry-rig away for my phone to continue charging while it is plugged in on the car charger, because, car chargers suck, and my battery is not doing great right now. So, here we are. We have now seen Love Lies Bleeding, which is a movie that I went into with, I don't want to say low expectations. I think the accurate representation of what I went into this with was no expectations. I had seen the trailer once, and not on YouTube or anything. It was a trailer, like they showed it before another movie, and I was like, alright, cool, this looks serviceable. Like, this looks like it could be an interesting movie, about a bodybuilder who falls in love, and, there's this weird, situation going on with the family and organized crime, and I'm always here for that. And by and large, this movie delivers on that. Like, you get that, basically, which is good. And I think that it handles that well. Like, I think the performances are great. I think Kristen Stewart does a great job, as usual. We've been seeing her on this tear lately, where she's just done great movie after great movie after great movie, and good for her with that. She's doing good. Katy O'Brien, also really great. I had only ever seen her in The Mandalorian before this, so to see her, take on not a more serious role, because I think her role in The Mandalorian is relatively serious, and I don't want to be dismissive of, genre. But to see her here take on this more, dramatic, maybe would be the right word, a more nuanced role, I think she does a great job here, and I hope to see more of her in the future. And my only thought, and I hate doing this as I'm watching this movie, is, god damn, they really missed the mark by not casting her as Abby in The Last of Us Season 2. And I hate doing that, because I hate seeing a great performance from someone and being like, and what major franchise can we pigeonhole this person into for the next however many years of their life? Like, and I think that that's something where I watch this and I'm like, she would have been great in that role, though. What else have we got? I think that the aesthetic of the movie is great, setting it in the late 80s, early 90s, or 89 is the exact year. It was a great choice. I think, Dave Franco, too, had a pretty good performance in his limited, role. I like the movie. There are some things that I don't particularly love about it. I think the ending kind of loses the plot a little bit. When you get to the very end of the film, I feel like that kind of misses the mark in a substantial way, which is kind of unfortunate. I think they handled well throughout the movie this idea of, Jackie, who's Katy O'Brien's character, losing control, dealing with these roid rage issues. I think they handled that well throughout the movie. Then you get to the third act, and you get to this kind of, superhero thing, and I'm like, okay, I get what you're going for here. This is the third act, the very end of the movie, when she gets rescued by Jackie, Louise gets rescued by Jackie, Louise being Kristen Stewart, that is from the perspective of Louise. So her seeing her this way, it's a projection of what, I get that. I understand what they're going for. In practice, it comes out a little weird, and I'm like, alright, that's an odd choice. I think that's that they probably could have handled that a little bit better. And I don't think you really needed that. For what this movie is. I think that just having Jackie come back and rescue her would have been enough to end out this, this story. And that's, that would have been a good way to round out what happened here. I feel like there are some things that are underdeveloped, which is fine because I think the love story is the key here. Like, the resolution of the whole thing with Louise's mother coming in the very end of the movie, I don't want to say it feels rushed, but it feels unfortunately timed because we never get a chance to have Louise really grapple with that reveal. Besides just her being like, no, that's not true. And it's like, oh, okay, but like, up until now, this movie has done nothing but prove to me that point is true. It's kind of a weird thing to do. I don't think the movie does enough to make the girl who's going to squeal, like the Daisy is her name, like, when she gets shot, I still feel bad for her. Like, where I think in a situation like this, and I get you're supposed to at that point because it's weirdly paced, but like, Jackie is at that point working for Ed Harris's character, whose name I'm forgetting, who is Louise's dad. Like, at that point, like, this girl just has unrequited love for Louise, and it's like, all right, sure, I guess. But by the time you get to that point where she is getting shot, and it's just like, oh, that's unfortunate. Like, you feel bad for her because it's like, yeah, Jackie didn't know that she'd already agreed to not talk and all of that, but like, it's such a weird thing where it's like, I don't think it, like, for that moment to, it's two conflicting emotions of what they're going for in that. I think you're supposed to feel bad for her, but at the same time, it's like, at the end, it's like, when you get to the end of the movie, and it turns out that they've had this body in the trunk of Daisy, and she's not dead. It's like, and then she just goes back there and slowly kills her, and I'm like, that, that feels off. And that death doesn't feel right within the context of the movie. Which I think is a big misfire, like a big issue with that part of the movie. What else have we got? Like, I don't know. I feel like there was more that I wanted to address with this. So it's like, it's a solid movie, and I think that, like, the third act is kind of where it falls apart for me. And it's the very end that leaves kind of a bad taste in my mouth in a weird way, where it's like, I think the beginning and the middle, and even the third act, up until the point where, we see, giant Katy O'Brien come back and save the day. It's like, up until then, the movie kind of works. And works very well. It's just that third act, that very end of the movie, not even the third act, because the third act mostly works. It's just that very end of the movie that kind of doesn't quite click and kind of sours everything else up until that point in a weird way. Which is unfortunate, because the movie is very entertaining. And well executed for what it is trying to do. Yeah, I mean, I would recommend seeing it. I would say this is under our system, again, 1 star being skip. Don't even bother with it on streaming. Oh no, is 1 star skip or a 0 star skip? I know. Okay, so we'll work backwards. 5 stars is you must rush out and see this movie in theaters. Because this is a must-watch theatrical experience. 4 stars, this is a theatrical experience that you can wait, and see as a matinee, or you can see on Discount Tuesday or something like that. You don't have to see it opening weekend. 3 is stream it, wait for streaming, and this is a movie that you if you wait for streaming, you won't miss anything, but it's worth getting a streaming service you don't have to watch it. 2 stars is watch it on streaming, but only watch it if you already have the streaming service. So, like, if you have Netflix, like, you can wait till this hits Netflix. You don't have to, like, but if you don't have Netflix already, don't get it just to watch this. 1 star would be wait for it to hit basic cable, like, wait for it to be a movie on TBS. and then you enjoy it there. 0 stars is don't even bother with that. Okay, so that's what it was. Okay, so this is, I would say, 4. Somewhere between 3 and 4. I don't think there's anything really gained from watching this movie theatrically besides the inability to, I think any movie will inherently be benefited from a theatrical experience in a distraction-free environment. It doesn't matter what the movie is. It doesn't matter if you're watching a movie with complex timelines or complex editing or anything like that. Any movie is benefited from the theatrical experience, especially even if there's a weird guy who decided to park himself next to you in this movie theater. So it's one of those things where it's like, hands down, like I will rarely say this is a movie that you don't have to watch in a theater. This is not worth watching in a theater. That said, I would say this is a movie that is interesting enough to warrant the theatrical viewing. But I also think that it's a movie that you should, that if you're not 100% gung-ho with what this is something that you won't miss anything if you wait for streaming. So it's like 3.5 stars. Right in that nice little middle ground. That said, the performances are great, and I think that I do wonder if, because like this isn't the first time that Kristen Stewart has had a great performance in kind of a weird movie that has put her in a weird spot for, award recognition, because she had a great performance in Spencer 3 years ago, where she played Princess Diana. That was a great performance by her in that movie. But the movie is a little weird. It's a little out there at times. It's they handle things in a strange way. It's one of those things where it's this. I do wonder if that's something that will come back to haunt come award season, because I think she's got a great performance. And look, the real standout performance here for me was Katy O'Brien, who I had not seen do anything else. And I said it already, she should have played Abby in The Last of Us. I don't know. That was an odd choice to go with Caitlin Dever over her. I don't even know if she's in consideration, I'm gonna be honest, but it's one of those things where it's she should have, done that. That said, the effects weren't terrible when they were using visual effects. Some of the body horror aspect of it do work, but it's definitely worth a watch. But we'll wrap up there for today. We will be doing The Girls on the Bus. We will be doing The Regime. We will be doing next week X-Men 97. We will be doing next week. What was the other big one that we've been doing? The Bad Batch. And we'll be picking up with Doctor Who in May. Because we have a release date for that, May 10th. As always, if you want to support the show, go to mwpnews.com. That is the website where we will be posting news articles and stuff like that related to this. We will also be putting up on there, there are news articles for things that happen if a release date comes out. Those sirens are on our end. We'll be putting up stuff like that. So today we had an article about the Doctor Who release date. We will be putting up other things like that, and also each episode of every podcast will get its own little article, so that way you can go up and you can find it there. You can hit the subscribe button. It's great things all around. But we'll wrap up there for today. And also we have there are some ads on there, but that's how we support the show. If you don't want to buy anything or donate, we have ads on there. If you go and you click the link on there and look at the stuff on there, you're helping us out. But we'll wrap up there for today. And until our next episode, have a great rest of your week.